It changed my life.
This video will show you how to finally reach your goal and makes it very simple. Alex Hormozi gives pure value with every syllable of every word that he says. This video was cut from a long keynote that people pay good money for. You will see the absolute best of it condensed into 15 minutes for free. My advice to you now is treat this video as if you pay good money for it. The speech is focused on making as much money as possible, but you can use these lessons to reach any goal in life. Now take a deep breath and focus on this.
You guys want to hear something completely insane? I was able to take home more in a year than the CEOs of McDonald's, IKEA, Ford, Motorola, and Yahoo combined as a kid in his 20s.
You will know exactly how he did it and how to apply it to your own goals after watching this video.
Who believes that no one can outwork them? Do you think you're the only person who works 16, 18 hours every day? Go to China. And the next one is effort. That's how no one can outwork me. No one's gonna try harder than me. So you want participation trophy. If it's not the amount of time we're putting into the work, and it's not the effort that we are expending or how hard we try, then what's work? Here's Alex's definition. Work equals outputs. Outputs equal volume times leverage. That guy is the hardest guy working in the world. In 2022, he had $140 billion in net worth, more than Bill Gates did his entire career in 1 year. That's $2 billion a week. So output divided by time.
So we're trying to find leverage. How can we get the most out of our time?
The leverage is the length of the lever itself that you're using. The outputs is how much you can lift on the other side. High or low? Low. High or low? High. High or low? Very high. At a certain point, it's not about how strong the person is. It all depends on how much leverage you have. That's the point of this. Now, high or low? Volume times 1,000, the thing's just as long as the other one. High. Yes. So now that we understand what work is, you can either do more activity or you can do it with more leverage to get more output. Doing more is capped by time and physical ability. How much you get, aka leverage, is uncapped. Fun fact, Warren Buffett took home $500 million in dividends last year from Coca-Cola as an owner. The CEO took home 50. He spent less time working on Coca-Cola than the CEO did. We've been playing the game wrong. If you want to outwork your competition, what you really should be doing is out-leveraging them. You need more leverage.
Great example for this is bodybuilding. Will training 10 hours a day help you reach that goal? No. Find where the leverage is. You will gain much more focusing on nutrition and rest.
The second is why new stuff is making you cool. I would bet that the majority of you are doing it. I remember the first time I saw this, it changed my life. Who here has had a buddy tell you about something that they're doing and they're making a lot of money doing it, and then you immediately feel shitty about what you're doing and then think, I should get out of my opportunity to go over here and do what they're doing. Everyone has. The reason is because we're at step one, which is uninformed optimism. Don't know enough about what they're saying, they're just giving you the highlights. They're giving you the Instagram reel. They're not giving you the real. Once you decide to get out of your little vehicle and then go over there, then you tell your buddy, you're like, hey, why am I not making money? He's like, oh, well, there's like 100 other fucking steps that I didn't talk to you about in the beginning, but like, and it's actually nearly impossible, and I got really lucky that one time. And now all of a sudden it looks like all the people at your old job are making more money than you. But yeah, let's keep doing it. So you move to stage two, which is informed pessimism. You are now aware of the shit that is involved to make the money that you want in this new thing. Now you think, okay, this is probably the worst part. But then time elapses, and it's still shitty, and you still haven't made money yet. It blows more now because you have invested more time and still have zero. So your actual output to time is lowering. That's why it's so painful, which is where people get into the crisis of meaning. Why the fuck am I doing this? What does money even matter anyways? You know what, I'd be happier if I just spent more time with my kids. You change your goal because you encounter difficulty. People then crash and burn. So if you're at the crisis of meaning, this is where most people offshoot. What happens here, where that fourth dot there on the bottom, if I were to cross it out and write uninformed optimism, again, that's what most of you do. Find about something cool, informed pessimism, it kind of sucks. Oh shit, it's way harder than I thought. Uninformed optimism, I'll try something else. And then you do it again and again. When you die in the video game, restart a few seconds later. The game of entrepreneurship, you start years later. This is why people don't progress. They keep fighting the same boss that can't learn the same fucking lesson. Crisis of meaning is also called the valley of despair. From there, you get into informed optimism. You figure out that little thing, you're like, I had to do this one thing. You have to get through that piece. Then you get to informed optimism, and then number 6, you achieve. And then all your friends are like, yo, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, I got this thing. And then all of them come, right? That is where most people start something new. They don't learn the lesson. This is what their life looks like, over and over. It's normal. I had 9 businesses and I was broke. So I say this with the pain of experience. That is the thing number 1 that is keeping you poor. Uninformed optimism. Number 2, a little story I want to tell you. I was called up by a guy I knew in high school. He said, hey, I've got this roofing business. I want to go big. That's awesome. We also do some general contracting work. Why don't you grow the roofing business? He said, well, you know, don't leave money on the table. Okay, this one's gonna sink in for some of you guys. You've got the roofing, you got the GC stuff. You pause for a second. Well, we also kind of flip houses too. We also do the contracting work, but we fix the roof so we just get huge costs. We're vertically integrated. I was like, dude, you're not fucking vertically integrated, you're distracted. How do I scale? Just pick one. What do you mean? Pick one. Why do you think you can't build $1 billion roofing business? So I don't want to leave money on the table. The money you are leaving on the table is the focus that you are not giving to the one thing that matters. This is Diane Hendricks. She's the #1 wealthiest self-made woman. She owns ABC Supply, which is roofing, not house flipping, not general contracting, roofing. Why didn't he build that? He's smarter than Diane Hendricks. That's why.
So focus. The man who chases 2 rabbits catches none.
If you want to build something epic, you have to be able to do the same thing for an extended period of time without convincing yourself you're smarter than you are. If you wanted to not make money, #1, do lots of different things. #2, do them for short periods of time. Don't stick with it too long because you might see success. #3, do not get help. #4, make all the mistakes on your own. If you start learning from other people's mistakes, you can move faster, so don't want to do that. When you make a mistake, do it again. Just repeat it. Especially if you're like, I've been here before, do the same thing. Who here knows the definition of learning? I'll tell you. Same condition, different behavior. So if you want to teach someone something and you present them the same condition and they have not changed their behavior, they have not learned. If you came to this workshop this weekend with the intention of learning something, if you go back home and your behavior does not change, you've learned nothing, nothing. Truly took the money and burned it along with losing the output that you lost in the time of here plus travel. That definition has been singed into my mind because if I want to learn something and I have the same condition that's been presented, I have to ask myself, if I do the same thing again, it means I have not learned and I don't want to play this boss again. If you do want to make money, you do one thing for a very long period of time. You get help from other people. You observe what other people have been doing. You only make the mistake one time. If you are going to make them, you always grow and challenge the beliefs that you had and try and answer the question, what do I believe to be true that is not? Because ordinary business is done for extraordinary time, create extraordinary results. Compounding is the thing. Like, it has to compound. If the vehicle you are in right now does not compound with time, then change the vehicle. Get into something that if you stick with it for an extended period of time, it will be unreasonable that you will be poor. So I had a conversation with a different friend. He had a zillion businesses, and they were all bullshit business. They didn't actually make any money, but he had like a logo and a website and like some VA. You know what I mean? Like, it's a business. I'm just gonna wait to see the thing that takes off and then go all in on that. I get it. I'm gonna focus. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna go with the winning horse, right? The reality is that any of them can take off, but you can't have them all. It doesn't really matter which one you pick, but you do need to pick one. The picking is the thing that grows it. How arrogant is it to think that we can do multiple things at once and compete with someone who's spending all their time on that one thing? It's my favorite thing in the world. Compete against somebody who's doing lots of things. It's very easy to win. This is what focus really looks like. One thing, all in. If I had a magic wand and I ended all your side projects except for one, just the one that you think has the most opportunity, how easy would it be to grow that thing? He just looked at me and was like, really fucking easy. Interesting. But that would be so hard because insert real reason that no one gives a fuck about. But I have to fire that, but I would have to shut, All the riches you want are on the other side of a few hard conversations. Most people spend the rest of their lives not having them and being poor and living away. My favorite story. Who here has seen The Matrix? Awesome. You need to become the person who can say no to the woman in the red dress. The woman in the red dress is the representation of everything that is shiny, object, and beautiful and wonderful in the world. I had learned how to say no to $1 million opportunity, 5 million, 10 million. I hadn't learned how to say no to a $20 million opportunity when I was making 20 million. The woman in the red dress becomes more seductive, more attractive, the better you get. Because this is what the woman in the red dress really looks like. Just ready to smash your shit and distract you and spread you thin so that you can't keep your eye on the ball. It feels like quicksand. How do you get out? You gotta cut shit. You gotta eat your ego. You gotta watch your revenue go down so that you can refocus, reconsolidate, bring the troops in. I wish I had fucking heard this from somebody else. I would have avoided a lot of pain. How do you become that person who can say no to the woman in the red dress? You do the activities someone with those character traits despite not feeling good about. A story that'll drive us home. Layla and I were on this walk. I said, I'm so impatient. I need to be more patient, right? I don't think you're impatient. Yeah, I am. I fucking hate this. I want this to be faster. I want everything to be bigger, faster, stronger. Yeah, but you're not changing your behavior. You feel that way, but you haven't done anything that's not aligned with the long-term strategic vision. I feel fucking terrible. I want to be like Zen about it. Yeah, but that's not how it works. Patience is not feeling impatient and feeling terrible about waiting, about not jumping on these opportunities. It's about not jumping on the opportunities despite feeling like shit about it and wanting to. To become that person, you just start acting like the person who has those beliefs, behave in that way, and then it will stink in. New distractions kill leverage and keep you poor. Focus multiplies it. I said 3 things. Number 1, how making money really works. It all comes down to leverage. Number 2, why making new stuff is making you poor, which means you have to focus. And number 3 is why better is leverage. This is the make money part. Here's the simple approach to growth that we use with our portfolio companies. Better is better than new. If you do it better, you get more for what you put in. That is leverage. If you do the current thing, you get what you currently have. If you make it better, you will get more from the activity. You can create leverage in your business by being better. and better comes from boring. Most of us solved an emotional need by quitting whatever we were doing to start and become an entrepreneur. And then we had a positive reinforcement from that behavior. We learned that as a way of life. You felt uncomfortable in your job, you quit your job, you got rewarded. So you think, oh, when I quit things, I'll get rewarded. It's the wrong lesson. You have to unlearn it. With each level of entrepreneurship, there are lessons like that you have to unlearn the thing that got you. Better comes from boring. It comes from doing all the shit that you know you should be doing but aren't. Imagine a list of all the stuff you know you should be doing but aren't doing right now. You know there's some shit that you should be doing in your business. You already know what you need to do. And we come here to get rah-rahed, etc. But the shit is on your desk at home. That is the work that must be done. We don't want to confront it because we want to do something more stimulating and exciting that makes us feel alive. And your business doesn't give a fuck. You have to pick one because there is so much stuff that has to be done to do one business right. If you do it right, you grow by default. It is a promise. Who here calls all their leads within 5 minutes? You will triple your sales. Triple. That sounds boring. That's boring. Makes you a shitload of money. You continue to ignore the new things that sound really exciting. You become the person who's able to do that by pretending to be the person who's able to do that. You already know what to do. This is a mental model I really like a lot. Who here has ever had a coach or a mentor? Has anyone ever coached or mentored other people? Does anyone feel like they're a better mentor than they are a person who does shit? All the time. I ask myself this question. It's actually been one of the most profound, most helpful questions I've had, which is, if I were coaching me, if you were coaching you right now, what would you tell you to do? And what's crazy about this is that half the fucking time, it's not what I'm doing. Coach me, much smarter than me, man, right? Take your own advice. If you do that, I promise you'll make more money. You're like, but I'm a special snowflake. You're just convincing yourself that you're smarter than you are and giving yourself reasons that reality does not apply to you. It does. And this is just a boss level. You might need to keep going against the snowflake until eventually you figure out that you just got to melt it by being there, hanging in. There's 2 periods, very clear definitions of periods of time in my life. The first period was when I was distracted. This is when I did not make money. I had 6 gyms. I had a launch business where we do gym turnarounds in person. That's where I actually physically was, not at my gym. I had a dental agency. I had a chiropractor agency. I think I had something else. Lots of fingers, right? And I was 26-ish. And I would love to tell people, I own 9 companies. I'm poor. But it felt really good. Struck my ego, not my bank account. Point taken. Over the next 90 days, I sold 5 gyms, shut down both agencies, got rid of everything. 12 months later, we were doing $1.5 million a month from zero. 12 months after that, we were at $4.5 million. One thing. When you focus on one thing, you make it unreasonable to fail. If you do one thing for an extended period of time, it becomes unreasonable to suck. You do it more than anyone else has done it, you'll be better than them. Just is what it is. Last amount of time, they're like, hey, how'd you get so good at sales? I took 4,000 fucking sales calls. That's how I did it. Everyone fails because they want to move fast. They don't have a solid foundation. They don't want to take the 12 months to actually get the fucking product right. They keep trying to string 3 of these little shortcuts together rather than build a foundation.
Funny thing, this speech is what got me to bring my focus back to this channel from a million other things. What will you do?
Better is leverage. Better gets you more for what you put in. This is what small businesses look like. This is what big businesses look like. The amount of activity is actually not that different. It's just a line. It's just all in the same direction. There's no match. It's just alignment. Same input, more output. What boring but better looks like. It means split testing landing pages not once but weekly. Not just one time when you come here. You put the process in place to do it every fucking week. Split testing emails, not once but weekly.
This can be translated into checking every week if you are on track. And what are you doing right and what not? Measure what you do and grow based on data, not on guesses.
Making new ads and creative, not when you have to, but before you need them. How exciting is that? Not at all. Makes you more money. So this is my promise. Doing all the unsexy shit that you aren't doing, but know you should, is the secret to the success. My promise is if you do nothing new, but only what you already know you should be doing, that your self-coach tells you to, you will make more money in the next 12 months than you can imagine. You just gotta do it right. Who here knows the difference between a 7 out of 10 book and a 9.5 out of 10 book? About 20 times the more. Who here knows the difference in sales between a 7.5 book and a 9.5 book? About 1,000 times. And so if you do 20 times the work, you get 1,000 times the effort. That's a 50x increase per unit of input. It's a lot. It's worth it, but you do have to do 20 times more work. That is leverage. An opportunity is missed by most because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. And I have a little thing at the end here. You guys cool with that? All right, sweet. So I want to make sure I filled my promise. Number 1 is how making money really works, leverage. Number 2, why making new shit is making you poor and why you have to focus. Number 3 is why better is leverage, like a real world money magic trick. You must get more from what you do. The way you get more from what you do is you first do everything that you know you should be doing better. The way you do that is to focus on one thing for a long time without distraction. Anything can become big with time. When you line all actions to a single outcome and you keep working at it, your success will look effortless and obvious from the outside, but you will know that it came from years of saying no to everything except that which mattered most.